Well, hi there. Today's topic may be a little controversial, but I did want to talk about how do you treat money? And have you ever considered that money is an amplifier of your habits? I read that in a book recently and I thought, wow, how powerful is that? It went on to say that money allows us to be more of who we already are. So here's the truth, that nothing tests a person's true character more than when they experience great success or huge failure. It's in the midst of financial stress more than anything else that your true character comes out. And this made me consider how important it is to have the right mindset and the right established habits and disciplines when it comes to your finances before God blesses you with abundance. How many times have you prayed for abundance only to find yourself praying for abundance again later because somehow it slipped through your fingers? You know, Jesus speaks to this concept. Jesus spoke a lot about money. And I think it's because God knew that money, either too much, too little, and everything in between, would be our weakness. So, you know, this is from the Message translation because it just does it so well. In Luke chapter 16, verses 10 through 13 in the Message. Jesus went on to make these comments. If you're honest in small things, you'll be honest in big things. If you're a crook in small things, you'll be a crook in big things. If you're not honest in small jobs, who will put you in charge of the store? No worker can serve two bosses. He will either hate the first and love the second, or adore the first and despise the second. You can't serve both God and the bank. I don't think this means that in order to serve God, you have to be a pauper. I think quite the opposite. I think God loves to bless us richly. I've said that before. I think this is more about what you do with what he gives you. This is about how you handle your money. Do you manage your finances according to God's principles or according to yours or the world's or whatever the bank says you should do? This is where your mindset, your beliefs, and your faith come to the fore in your life. Another great teaching, and again in the Message version, was a great translation, and this is in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21, when Jesus said, don't hoard treasure down here where it gets eaten by moths and corroded by rust, or worse, gets stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasures in heaven where it's safe from moths and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place where you will most want to be and end up being. So, you know, where your treasure is, there is your heart. It's so true, because you put your money where your mouth is. You tend to support the things that mean the most in your life. And I've spoken before about priorities and focus. And yet again, this is coming back to, you know, how do you use your money? And again, this in turn comes back to mindset. And I always bring things back to mindset. Mindset in terms of where is your heart and your mind in alignment with God, or are you away from God? So when you are generous and you give to those who need it, when you bless others, when you invest in the kingdom and you follow God's discipline of stewardship, you are making deposits into your heavenly treasure, which is for eternity. I wrote a note in my Bible once next to the verse where it says how important it is to give to the poor. And when you give to somebody less fortunate than you, you're making a deposit into your eternal inheritance. You will get that money back on the other side. So you make an investment into your eternity when you choose to give. But to become a giving, generous person takes a mindset shift. You have to shift yourself from being poverty mindset to being abundance mindset, because you're a child of the King. You're a child of God who owns everything. There's also research that proves that our inclination to create ceilings in our subconscious minds about what we think we can earn. So this is a sidetrack, a little bit of a sidetrack, but it's on the same topic, that normally we set ourselves some sort of subconscious ceiling that ties to what we think we're worth. And it takes a whole lot of work to break through that ceiling. And when I think of that, it's not about what we think we can earn by our own efforts. It's about what you think your God has in store for you. He is the one who gives you the ability to produce wealth, as it says in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 18. It's God who gives you the ability to produce wealth. So are you putting a ceiling on yourself, or are you putting a ceiling on God? Are you looking at only your own capabilities, or are you considering just how big your God is? Do you limit him? Do you subtly doubt that he could really meet your needs? Do you really doubt that he would bless you beyond your wildest dreams? I would challenge you to examine what earning ceilings you're putting on yourself, and in a way are actually dishonoring God. And in Matthew 25, verse 21, this is at the end of the story about stewardship. And it ends with, his master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. And that is from the NIV. And I have a saying on my reminder board here by my desk that relates to that verse. And it says, after you get what you've prayed for, ask for the discipline to keep it and the wisdom to multiply it. Boom, right there. That's the principle of God's principle of managing money. Have the discipline to keep it and the wisdom to multiply it, which was the whole lesson from the parable about the stewards. So discipline and wisdom are those inner behaviors, those mindsets and beliefs that you can build now. Even if you feel you have no money, think about, where can I become more disciplined? Where can I be wiser about multiplying what I already have? And use those two, discipline and wisdom, as the support structures to your attitude of abundance, generosity, and compassion. Then godly stewardship will be a natural outcome. Get yourself to that place so that when you have great success or even great failure, it doesn't reveal a broken, miserly spirit within. Remember, God loves you and he wants to bless you, and he wants you to have the discipline and the wisdom to follow his biblical principles of managing your money. You are a daughter or son of the King, and he wants you to trust him with your wallet and your money. So develop the habits today that will amplify your character in a way that brings honor to his name. So until next time, may God richly bless you and your money.